So the question is, what's the difference between an interior designer and a decorator? This question I get asked all the time by my customers that are in the market of looking for an interior designer or a decorator. Or they ask me, what do I recommend when we're talking about designing the house and we're looking at floor plans? And honestly, there is a lot of difference. There's a lot of difference between an interior designer and a home decorator. And let me give it to you this way. If you are in the market or in the process of wanting to build a house, I highly recommend you do hire an interior designer. There's no doubt about that. And the reason why I'm saying this is that an interior designer is going to actually prepare you and give you an idea of the space that you need to incorporate in your construction in order to give you the satisfaction that you're trying to accommodate. And for example, like a lot of people say, well, you know, I like to have 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, whatever, 2 bedrooms. How much space do I need? And that's exactly where an interior designer comes in, because she can actually tell you, or even draw the preliminary floor plan for you and all the other accommodations needed to be able to service that space. For example, like the bathrooms, she can even add the windows. She can really help you a lot. And not only that, spend time with you on one-on-one basis. For example, they'll come over to your house and they'll visit with you anytime, and she'll go over all the details with you. In my books, an interior designer is this close to being an architect. And architects, to me, they don't know anything about interior designing, to be honest with you. A lot of people have a misconception about architects. They think architects can design and help them out with design and styles, and I don't think so. I would definitely lean towards an interior designer in that case. Now, going back to the difference between a decorator and a designer, I'm not cutting down the interior decorators because they're good at what they do. I think historically interior designers have been around. Interior decorators have been around a lot longer than interior designers. Interior decorators have been around in the industry for a long time, more than decorators. And an interior design decorator is a person, he or she, that really brings in a lot of experience in decorating a house, that really knows the colors, the final look of whatever the theme might be. Where I think interior designers are lacking a little bit of that. And I'll explain to you why I'm saying this. Interior decorators normally are highly recommended by somebody within the group, or if I can say the clique, depending who you hang out with, because they're word of mouth. For example, if one of your friends comes over to your new house and you all are talking about, oh my God, you know, I don't know what color to stain this or paint this or what to do here, you know, she must say, hey, I know an interior decorator that just did Sally's house, and boy, he's good, she's real good, blah, 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 blah. And you really trust your friend. So automatically, you're going to trust that decorator. And the decorator will come over, and sure enough, you know, she becomes one of your pals. And the next thing you know, you're sitting down with her drinking wine and having a good time, and she's giving you all her idea. Now, what's the limit to the interior decorator? Well, we don't know, and you're not going to know either, because, you know, let's just say that within her 10 years of experience, she worked for a builder, that the builder gave her the opportunity of being able to be at the construction site all the time, and you know, both of them giving each other advice, and she learned from the builder, from the framer, what to do, what not to do. She learned from the plumber about this. She learned from the electrician about that. She learned from the floor layer about that, you know, the different tiles. She learned from the painters about paints and what to do and what not to do and how to mix paint. So an interior decorator is really a self-made interior designer, but without the school, without the knowledge. Now, there are some interior decorators that can draw floor plans to scale and basically do the same as an interior decorator, interior designer. There's a lot of good interior decorators that I deal with, both female and males, and they're really extremely good. I recommend decorators in a different fashion. An interior designer is a person, a he or she, that actually studied interior designing, and they know all the history of designing when it comes to furniture, structure, architectural, a little bit of engineering, but a lot of physical activities. They know that, concepts, they know all that. They can cover all that with you. And that's what they're for. There's someone that's going to come and it's going to introduce you to the terminology that is required in that industry. She's going to represent that industry for you. An interior designer is going to introduce you to the industry. And what I mean about the industry, I mean about the interior designing industry, the architectural, first-time builder, second-time builder. She's going to help you with all those details to the teeth. The thing is that interior designers, they're there to point out to you all the safety issues as well. For example, they are going to tell you what a standard fireplace is as far as the width. They're going to also explain to you how far your coffee table needs to be away from the fireplace, and then how far is your sofa supposed to be from the coffee table so you can have enough space around the coffee table, which are the limit space, which is really what you really want to know. Because I have clients that build a home and they order furniture from us, or they want us to design furniture for them, and she's asking for an example. She's asking for a queen size bed on this one bedroom, and then she wants an end table or maybe two end tables, and she wants a bench in front of the bed and all this and all that. And then when I find out that her room is not big enough, I have to tell her, well, wait a minute, I'm sorry, but do you have enough space for your king size bed? or for your end tables? And she's like, well, I don't know. And I said, well, can you send me your floor plan and let me look at that? And I'll be happy to draw it in for you so we can see how much space we have to be able to get around the furniture in that one room. And when I do receive the floor plan and I start drawing in to scale the furniture that she likes, we don't have the space. In fact, it might be too small even for a king-size bed. And she might have to go with one end table. And then it turns out to be that the window is not located where it should be. The window is located to where they kind of ruin that wall because we can't fit anything because of that window or the plugs. And that's where an interior designer can really help you out. And that's why I always tell my customers, you know, it's worth it. Hire an interior designer. Hire an interior designer to help you out. She will be able to draw the floor plan for you. She'll have everything ready for you before you go and meet with the architect. And in fact, she'll even go with you, escort you to go meet with the architect. Because they speak the language, they know all the details, how to explain it to the architect. She basically represents you. And she'll be able to help you with any detail that you might be interested in. And I'm talking about details from exterior to interior. She knows all about roofing and outdoor paints, and she'll know the paints and the manufacturers and colors, and normally they're real familiar with the manufacturers to where they can probably give you a discount just based on her certification of being an interior designer, because interior designers are backed by the industry like myself. As manufacturers, as furniture manufacturers, I give interior designers a discount. And I also give interior decorators, legitimate interior decorators. You see, an interior decorator, they're not part of any association that I know of, where interior designers become part of interior designing association, depending on their state. Some states do offer licensing for them, and so they give them recognition. I give them recognition if they're members of the American Institute of Interior Designers, because I'm an industry partner to that organization. Just like I'm a partner to the American Institute of Architects, and I give architects a discount as well. But interior decorators, normally they don't have an association or an organization that represents interior decorators. But you'll know who they are and what level of interior decorator she is, because if you get a really good interior decorator, she'll know the terminology, and she'll know everything as much as an interior designer, but with the knowledge of when you go deep into it, she might not know all the terminology, but she can explain to you. And an interior designer is someone that can actually draw and design the furniture for you. They're really good at that. They know the history of the furniture. They study the art, the history of the furniture, going back to medieval times. Where an interior decorator, she's not going to know that unless she actually studied on her own like I did. I'm not an interior designer, but my gosh, I've read every book about art and in relations to design and furniture designing. I am an industry partner to the American Association of Interior Designers, and I like supporting the industry. They announce a lot of events that are very educational. So what the association, what the benefits of being part of the association is that they're always inviting guest speakers, industry partners to come and speak or give a lecture on products and interesting materials for building or designing. And that's pretty neat because they kind of keep you up to date and it's pretty cool. But all interior designers are very cool people. They're very hardworking people. That's one sure thing, that they are going to be very, very professional with you. If they tell you something, they can do it. But I will tell you also that you know, it's like anything else. If you select an interior designer or an interior decorator, make sure that you connect with her. Make sure that that's exactly what the kind of personality and what she's bringing to the table to assist you with your vision is it's exactly what you think that she'll be able to deliver for you, to help you with. Don't hire somebody that you don't feel comfortable with, because I don't know why. There's always a little lack of communication when that occurs. And at the same time, make sure that if you're building a traditional home, make sure that the designer or decorator meets those requirements. In other words, that's what they love, is designing traditional homes. If you're going to build a Spanish colonial home, well, make sure you get a designer that has experience dealing with Spanish colonial homes, because somebody else, it's already paid her to do a lot of the footwork for you. So she might give you some resources or some better ideas of what you might be looking for. And that's the whole idea. The whole idea is to bring the designer that it's already familiar with the kind of design that you're interested in, because she'll have a lot of resources by then, because now she's done it before so many times that she knows exactly where to go. Absolutely. Absolutely. Another thing too that I might point out is that, and I'm not being biased or discriminating against anybody, because they're all good. But, you know, in the industry, I also found out that if you are building, for example, a Spanish colonial home, I will kind of look for that Spanish-speaking interior designer or decorator. And let me tell you what, at least in Texas, because a lot of your home builders are going to have Hispanic people working in this house for the construction, and believe it or not, that little bricklayer or that floor layer or that carpenter, that little Hispanic carpenter over there working, he might have some ideas for you, especially that Saltillo layer that's installing Saltillo tile for you. He might bring some ideas to you that you're going to appreciate. And the only way you're going to find out, that's if your interior designer, whether he or she, communicate. And that's where they get their ideas as well. Interior designers get their ideas from other people, just like decorators, but they go a little bit more in depth. But everybody gets ideas from somebody, okay? Not everybody's creative like me. No, I'm just kidding. But Everybody gets ideas from everybody. So you got, so yeah, of course, if you're going to build a Spanish colonial hacienda or a house and you find an interior designer that speaks Spanish and understands the construction, heck yeah. That's definitely worth a glass of wine, because she'll be able to communicate or she'll be able to create that link between you and the doers, the ones that are actually working there at the house. She'll be able to relay that to you. And because, don't forget, the builders are good, but they're limited to what they know. Their know is the people that are actually doing the work for them. They're the knows. The builder is the organizer. And there's nothing better than to take advantage of the people that are working there in your house. So absolutely. Decorators, interior decorators, yeah, absolutely. They speak the language. Absolutely, they're as good. But an interior designer is going to probably give you more professional advice and can do. That's the key word, can do. Where an interior decorator cannot do legally. So, go with an interior designer for a new home. I would call in an interior decorator. I always recommend interior decorators at the end of the project. At the end of the project. Nothing against the interior designers, but once you're done with the project and there's a lot of things that need to be touched up or a lot of little details that need to be brought up, yeah. Interior decorators, they can come in and give you some good ideas, because that's exactly their background. That's exactly where they came from mixing paints, from adding colors to this and that. They're not going to tell you to knock this wall down like an interior designer is, or move this over there, because they don't understand the physical part of the house, the structure. Some of them do, and you might get those advice from them, and they might be good advice, but an interior designer can give you advice as to what to do interior architectural-wise. That's my take. That's how I feel about interior designers, interior decorators. What's the difference between a male interior designer and a female interior designer? There is a difference. There is a difference. There is a difference. But sometimes they all meet halfway, halfway, I would say. So whatever's more appealing to you, that's who I would go with. Interview a few of them. If you need a lead for interior designers or decorators, send me a message. I'll be happy to help you. I deal with people all over the States. I have a lot of interior designers that I manufacture for, and I have a lot of interior designers that specialize in Tuscan homes, Spanish colonial, mission, Western, art, contemporary, transitional. So yeah, I'll be willing to help you with that. But absolutely, first thing that I would recommend before you design a house is get yourself a good interior designer or a very good experienced decorator. Absolutely. Thank you.